We will be starting in a short while. I need 5-7 minutes because there is someone who is hi Mukul, how are you? Good morning. I hope I am audible. All right, so today we have decided that we are going to discuss about the optional subject, but before that let's have a quick look at today's newspaper and try understand that what all is important in today's newspaper, right? So 1.6 crore informal jobs were lost since 2016, something very important for our paper, right? We have to need go into details of this important news. We will talk about it. It is on page 12. Then center holds review of NEP 2020 with states. Again, an important news for your education purpose, right? The topic of education, which can be part of paper 1 society, paper 2 polity and governance, paper 4 ethics, and as well as essay paper. Then toll rises to 42 in strikes on Ukraine. Unfortunate, but again, as I've been telling you guys in past many days, that these can at best be just an example, nothing more than that, even though these are gruesome acts of violence. But right, then an exercise that drives growth with stability. The government's policy priorities will be known. Now this is about budget, so obviously important. And then Gautam Gambhir ji appointed Indian team coach in place of Mr. Dravid, but then obviously not important for our exam. Then Putin accepts PM's request to release recruits, and bilateral trade target for 2030 set at $100 billion. Amazing. Much important information can be extracted from this news piece. Rahul meets family of Kirti Chakra awardee. Nothing important for the exam. Prime accused in hit and run case in Mumbai held. Not important. CBI arrests 2 more in NEET UG paper leaks case. Not important now. French parties scramble to gather allies. Not important. Patanjali tells SC it instructed store to remove 14 medicines. It has been in news for quite some time, so today I don't think, unless you are first timer to read anything about this, there is nothing much in it. Then SIT leaves out preacher in report on UP stampede. Again the same story we have discussed. Kathua anti-militancy operation stepped up, attackers elusive. Again just an example of a sordid event that is happening again about India-Pakistan relations, cross-border terrorism and violence and things like that, right? So now as we have decided that today's session will be focused only and only on optional. So those who are live with me right now, can I know your optional subject if you have decided, and if you have not yet decided? So let's start exploring the possibilities that what an optional can be and how we can choose our optional. What are the criteria or the yardsticks that we should keep in mind? So can I know what optional subject you have in your mind if you have decided about one? Mukul, can you tell? Others are a bit hesitant. Sociology. Muhammad Nazam is sociology. Mukul sir, I have not selected optional for me. Okay. So can we make it little more interactive so that I can help you guys decide on an optional? See, an optional should be of your choice, your interest, and it should not be forced on you by the considerations of which is more scoring subject, which has lesser syllabus, which overlaps with GS, and not particularly by a teacher who can then allure you to his or her own subject. So if you try make it little more interactive today, at least you guys will definitely benefit with this discussion. And trust me, unless it is interactive or unless you start discussing, there is no point of attending any session. So if you want me to help you understand the importance of optional or to help you decide what optional you should take, it should be initiated by you. The discussion must be initiated by you. If the discussion is driven by me, then I being a history teacher, can drive the entire discussion towards history optional. That will be the most unethical thing a teacher can ever do. So I would appreciate if you drive the discussion for your optional. You ask questions, I answer them, and by this way we will be in a very constructive and a fruitful framework where something good will be going on, right? Okay, I have studied geography from 11th class to my graduation, so geography will be best for me as an optional subject. Obviously yes, there is no denying the fact, and overall geography is a good optional subject. And see, if you have like done geography in last 5 years, one like 2 years of your 11th and 12th and 3 years in your undergrad course, and now that you have graduated with this subject, so this should be your natural choice and there should not be any other consideration. Now see, if you look at the syllabus, you will be more familiar with the syllabus. If you look at the past year papers, you will be very comfortable understanding those questions, and at least you can immediately start writing. Now the only thing that you need to do is to read some standard text, not those college time books or guides, unless if you have already read some of the books written by renowned names. But if you have been reading guides, so then in that case you have to read some standard text. So obviously yes, geography must be your choice, no denying the fact and no second thought even. Fine. Now anybody else? I hope I don't know your name, and the name that you have used, I won't be able to use that name publicly, even though that's your public name. But as a teacher, I would refrain from using that name. Mukul, sir, I am in first year of graduation and join RM coaching at Husharpur. And sir, can you help me to choose my optional? So can you please tell me your Mukul? Can you tell me your graduation subjects, please? Sir, is public administration good optional? Obviously yes, it is one of the best optionals, and uh, if you have done your graduation with same subject, then to there shouldn't be any second thought. History and political science. Mukul, see, history has one advantage and one disadvantage. The advantage of history is that it is static and there is no change over the span of time. Like, you have to not make current affair integrated in your optional. What you read once remains with you throughout the life. The disadvantage is obviously yes, the length of the syllabus, right? And if you do not have interest in the subject, as if you do not enjoy reading about the personalities, the events, and you are not able to relate them with the date specific, then it should not be your optional. Having said that, now when we come to political science, even political science is a like the syllabus of political science is humongous. It's very huge syllabus, and moreover it is very dynamic subject, be it foreign policy, be it constitution, be it anything. They all are subject to very quick changes, so you have to integrate lot of current affairs into your optional. But despite the fact that the syllabus is huge, and then it is very static, sorry, very dynamic as well, but if you have interest, then you can always enjoy reading about politics, international relations. So of the two subjects that you have asked me, both have very huge syllabus, but both have one positivity to it, and that positivity is that yes, if you have interest in any of these two subjects, you like love it, and then you can anytime continue with any one of these, right? Anyone else now? You are interested in both of these. In that case, I would recommend attend a couple of demo lectures for both of them. Right, interest in both, then you attend both the sessions, both the optional live sessions, and at least 3 or 4 demo lectures. And if you then are not able to decide, then you can call me directly. You must have my number, right, Mukul? Sir, I have already joined Raj Malhotra Academy. I know that. So you have my number, so attend the demo lectures, and once you have done, then you can call me up, right? Anyone else to ask any other doubt? All right. And Mukul, in case today, because this is a session on only optional and I have given you your answer. So if you have no other doubt, so I would rather recommend you to opt out of this session on the way now and focus on your studies and do your work instead of sitting here. Hi, this is Rutika Yadav Yellow. Hi Rutika, how are you, beta? And tell me what decision you want, what help I can be in choosing your optional subject. So today's session is more driven by the students rather than by a teacher. The students are asking me questions about how to choose an optional. They are telling me that what optional subjects they have in their mind, and then they are asking me which can be a better, and I can, in that case, I can help in an unbiased manner. And I don't want any of my prejudices to impinge with this and mar your chances of success. So I want the discussion of optional to be driven by the students and not by me. For public administration, there are many books available in the market. And see, Sarojini, when you ask about the books, the list of every optional subject book list is always shared by the previous year toppers. See, the method is, if you already have interest in public administration, you should have been knowing at least a couple of books. The criteria to decide that this is my optional, right? Let's take an example. I give you an example what I did when I was a student. So I had two options at that time. It was a time when we used to have two optionals, right? So I had history and political science. Now, first I saw the syllabus because I was doing both the subjects in my undergrad course. I had a look at the syllabus of both the subjects. I tick marked that these are the things which I've already covered in my like undergrad course, right? I was in my final year. Then I immediately had a look at the past 5-year question papers of history and political science, and I could very easily see, yes, I am familiar with these type of questions and I can write answers to them. Then during those days, these blogs and all these things were not available. So I met one person with the same optional who used to sit in Punjab University library where I used to study at that time, and he had history optional, not political science. So I requested him to please let me understand what are the good sources, and then he gave me a list of 5-7 books which were luckily available in the library itself. So I started reading those books, right? And then I had to wait for some time to meet another person who could, a senior obviously, who could guide me with political science book list as well. But now in your age, when every topper of the past few years have started maintaining a blog or a video shared on YouTube, so this much of the hard work you should do yourself, that you should watch at least a couple of videos or read a couple of blogs of the previous year toppers, see what books are they recommending, and then arrange those books. If you don't want to straight away invest in buying all those books, at least a book or two, or even if you do not intend to spend that much, then you can go online, see they must have a chapter or two available as an open read a couple of chapters, see are you comfortable reading those chapters, can you relate with them yourself. If you have done the subject in your graduation undergrad course, you must be comfortable to understand, to grasp the things. In case you feel little awkward or you are not very comfortable, then you can decide that instead of doing it through self study, I should go for coaching. Now when you decide that I should go for coaching for the same subject, because otherwise I am familiar and comfortable, but now there are some new things which I am not familiar with, so I should go for coaching, then comes the question that to whom should we go, right? So first step is to decide the optional, and the way to decide an optional is to know the syllabus, to know the past year questions, to understand whether you are familiar and comfortable with them or not, at least 50% of the syllabus and 50% of the questions of the past year. Then to read the blogs of the previous year toppers with the same subject, optional subject, see what book list they have recommended, read a couple of chapters of at least 2 or 3 books. If you can do it yourself, there is like nothing like that, do it through self study completely. And in case you feel no, this is not something that I can do myself, I need somebody to guide me, to monitor me, to mentor me, then you can go for coaching, right? I hope, Sarojini, this is quite an elaborate answer to your query. Sir, is it enough to read 11th and 12th NCERT for geography, or am I required to read an authored book with that? See, if this is going to be your optional subject, Talib, sir, in that case, I don't think that only 11th and 12th class book will be suffice, right? You need to read a lot more than that. Even in GS paper, people read more than NCERT. They read GC Leong, and few people read Khuller sir's books. And at these time, in the past few years, I've seen people reading even Majid Hussain sir's books. So for optional, so you have to read a couple of more books. All right. Now, any other question, anyone? Is there any other question? So, Rojini and Talib, I hope I have given you answers that you were looking for, and I will keep this session once again. And now on 15th, we have our session where we will have some of the toppers of this year coming and interacting with the students, but it will be available only in our Chandigarh center. It will not be online. So those who are nearby or those who want to reach out to us, they can come and have some all right. So best of luck everyone. Take care. God bless you all. Today I'm going to end this session a little early because I have another class, and then we'll keep another day for discussing the selection of optional. And if it is 2025, then this is the high time that you should start with your optional. If it is 2026 or 27, then you can relax a bit and we can again join a session where we can talk about optional subjects, right? So in that case, take care everyone. God bless you. As few more people have joined, I will wait for a minute or two to understand if they want to ask anything about their optional subject. Those who have just joined, if they want, they can ask about their option in the chat box. All right, so I will end my session with a word of advice for the youngsters, for the aspirants of civil services. And the word of advice will be, if you want to prepare for this exam, be first prepared to ask questions. Be first prepared to acquire knowledge. There was a motto of enlightenment age, and the motto was dare to know, right? Unless you ask, how will you know? Unless you know, how will you decide? And unless you decide, how will you start? And unless you start, how will you achieve? So the problem with most of the students is they are hesitant for no reason. They are not able to ask questions. They are not able to interact. They are not able to quell the doubts that they have. And because of all these things, they continue to be in dark and they are not able to see the light of the day. So my request to all the aspirants will be very simple. Learn to ask questions, learn to interact, learn to ask doubts, learn to get answers for your doubts, and learn how to interact and be confident, right? With this, I end today's session, and with the hope that the students will start interacting, the students will start asking questions, the student will ask their doubts, and then only they will get answers. Otherwise, joining any session, sitting as a mute spectator has never served anyone's purpose. Be it a session on YouTube, be it a session on Zoom or a Google Meet, be it a live session in a classroom offline. If you are sitting like a mute spectator, you are not gaining anything, right? So with these words, I take your leave for the day. God bless you all.